Hello and welcome to the Chattercade podcast, where, usually just talk about random shit, but in this case, we're doing reviews, as we do on occasion. Obviously, we're doing them quite more often now, just because we want to try and get through the Jurassic Park franchise before Dominion's out.
And we're not dead.
And we're not dead, yes. So we may as well utilise the not deadness to actually do something for a change. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, we covered Jurassic Park, the original 1993 classic by Steven Spielberg. Today we're doing the 1997 follow-up, the Lost World Jurassic Park, the not so classic. Then again, none of them are really as classic as the original. But they are all good in their own way.
I'm guessing like we were just started to get conceived around this time.
Probably, yeah. I don't know when this came out exactly, 97. I don't know if it was late 97, early 97.
Yeah.
I don't really look at the day. I just looked at 1997 and just went, okay.
We still weren't born.
Yeah, we weren't born until number 3. The most hated Jurassic Park movie there is. But one we actually enjoy.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about this one. As always, I'm the host, Ranking Thomas Hughes. I have the lovely Licola, aka Hayden.
Hey.
Sitting for this franchise with me. What kind of gets weeks off every now and again. I mean, he gets this time off anyway, but, it's an excuse to still do a podcast, and he gets his time off. So either way, it's a win-win for him, because he's still getting the content out while not being here. So, win-win for you, Connor. Win-win. I did have a Jurassic Park t-shirt all lined up for this, but I walked to the shops in warm weather while wearing a coat because it was cold, and then it went warm equals sweat, and means that I'm now stuck in a Cobra Kai t-shirt, flashing my arms.
But
I mean, yeah, there is that notion of the guns are out. As Scream 5 put it, Hobbs and Shaw.
you are wearing the Jurassic Park shorts.
But I am wearing the Jurassic Park shorts, just off screen.
You can't see that because the bulge is massive.
I've also got the Jurassic Park cock sock on. You just can't see that as well because of censorship reasons. And then there's Jurassic Park thong as well. There's loads of stuff that you can't see because of censorship.
That's where it's gone. Nicked it.
Yes, I did steal it. Yes, that is what you get for having it off with Jeff last time. He's karma. He's karma.
It's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, but it's karma because I wanted him. Because this movie is pure Jeff Goldblum. I mean, I said to you before we started, when we was watching it, was he's not the same type of character he was in the first one. Yeah, he still has that quirkiness every now and again, but he's more of a traumatized, serious character, which is very upsetting because we love Jeff Goldblum in the first movie. He had a lot of charm. That
becomes more like Alan.
Yeah, it becomes more of the Alan at the start of Jurassic Park, not the end of Jurassic Park when he's more, helping the kids and looking after them and that. He's basically the Alan from the start. And then to replace that Jeff, they've now got Vince Vaughn. He's probably my favourite character because he's got obviously that sort of subplot of espionage, wanting to save the dinosaurs while also being the cameraman. I mean, I feel like this one thing this franchise does suffer with until Jurassic World really starts kicking off is its side characters. The first movie had a lot of really good characters, whereas this one, it doesn't. I feel like the only good one of Vince Vaughn is probably the Hunter, just because there's a lot more to this character, because there is actually emotion to it from that one scene where his friend dies and he's sitting there by this T-Rex that somebody he spent the entire movie trying to capture, and he sat there and the guy's like, oh, why aren't you happy? You was literally just done what you said you wanted to do. You're basically Captain Ahab, you finally killed or captured Moby Dick. And he's like, yeah, but my friend's dead.
Like, it could have been a one-dimensional character.
Yeah, it could have just literally been a hunter.
I'm the villain, ha ha ha, shoot.
Well, he wasn't really a villain, was he?
No.
Essentially, the villain is the nerd.
Yeah, like he was actually quite a character. He's got, he likes to hunt people, like animals.
Yes, not people.
Yeah,
he's not specifically one of those type of hunters.
He likes to hunt animals and stuff, but he's got this other side to him, which is more redeemable. And like he actually still cares about people, and it's more of he's doing it to feel like he's alive. And
so, because that's hinted at. When he speaks to Julianne Moore's Sarah character, when he speaks to her, obviously the love interest of Jeff Goldblum in this, who, if you play the Telltale game, is actually the daughter of Harding from the first movie, the old guy, who in this Telltale game is actually quite young. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. But I mean, when he speaks to her, because she's covered in blood, and he's like, "Are you injured?" Like, that's like him being human, like noticing that she might be hurt, but in reality, obviously, she's not, because it's T-Rex blood. Like, that moment, like, that shows there's a hint instantly that this isn't just like your generic hunter who's just there to capture a prize, which he's constantly going on about. Oh, I want to capture a male T-Rex. I want to capture a buck. Like that. There's your one-dimensional character. He's just got a goal, simple as. But then they actually add the emotions to that character by that scene there alone. And then obviously when his friend dies, and the fact he's just in general trying to protect his friend, like when they destroy the camp, and the fucking Triceratops or whoever throws the fucking truck in the air and it's on fire and almost hits the tree, and he instantly is like to his mate, jump. Like that there, it shows that he's not just this one-dimensional human being, which makes him probably one of the best inclusions in this franchise up until Fallen Kingdom brings in obviously Owen as this more comedic. Basically, is the Jeff Goldblum from the first movie. So yeah, he's probably the best sort of extra character. Obviously, and you also got the guy who gets ripped apart by the T-Rex. I don't remember his fucking name off the top of my head. Obviously the one who's got his Pac-Man on his giant phone, whatever that fucking phone was. Obviously you got him who comes into it just to be basically kind of a bumbling fool. I mean, the whole sequence of him trying to save these characters, like at first it's badass. He's driving through the jungle, he's trying to rescue them, and then it's just like, oh, he fails to get a rope around the tree. He fails to get the hook on the truck. He keeps falling in the dirt. Like his gun gets fucking stuck within the fucking like a rope, like a netting in the truck, and it's like, oh, well, this guy's kind of useless.
Yeah,
like
it reminded me of Nedley.
Yeah,
when he's panicking and falling everywhere. It reminded me of that.
But obviously a different type of character to the fact that he's meant to be a good guy. He's not someone who's trying to cause an issue. He's literally trying to save a lot of people, or 3 people specifically, who are currently hanging over a fucking edge of a cliff. A cliff that does actually mean to exist this time around. Unlike the first movie, which I never really noticed, and I brought it up to you when we was walking to the shops. I was like, wait, I was watching something, and it was on about the fact that this cliff isn't meant to be here with the T-Rex paddock. It's like, where the fuck's this cliff come from? And I was like, shit, I've never noticed that. I watched this movie 1,000,000 times, never noticed that. But this time the cliff actually is meant to be there, which is quite cool. But I do like the fact that they've upped the ante of a lot of the dinosaurs here. Like, you've got stuff that weren't in the first one, the Stegosaurus, the Pachycephalosaurus. You do obviously finally see a pterosaur.
Yeah, we see the compies as well.
See the compies, the vicious little fuckers. I mean, fuck me. I mean, that opening sequence alone. See, that's the first film's open sequence. Yeah, it's the raptor. It drags him into the fucking enclosure and kills him. Yeah, that's quite spooky because it's like, whoa, what's going on here? But that's an adult. This opening for this scene literally sees a little kid off screen get murdered by compies.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, that is they still? I mean, this is still a PG, and they've gone to the level of killing a kid. Something you wanted to happen in the first movie. Yeah. You wanted like one of the 2 kids to die.
I think it'd be more emotional.
Yeah, and obviously it never happened. But this time around, it's instantly like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill a little kid to compies because these are little bastards. I mean, it shows you later on when that guy dies. One of the hunters, the one who actually recognised in terms of actors. And obviously you see that sequence, obviously that really terrifying chase, the slowest of chases, like jumps on his back, bites him, gets him off, starts scaling him off with rocks, gets him again, gets him off, gets him again, manages to climb over a fucking like a tree trunk, and then you just see the blood dripping all the way through the river. Like that is such an intense, slow chase. I mean, if you look at the first one, you had the chase in the first one with Ellie when she's getting chased by the raptors in the building. Like that was a fast paced. I mean, all the raptor chases in the first movie were fast paced, but this was a slow, like agonizing. It was like a serial killer, like just taunting his prey, like just slowly drawing out, like he's cut like a major artery, they're slowly bleeding out, and he's not going for the kill. He's just slowly following them. But this time it's like an army of little bastards.
Yeah, I just love how like their size. One of them on the road makes it seem like in the first one that the kid thinks it's really cute. It's like
when he tries to tase
like
it at the start.
A little tiny animal. Then obviously with him, he tases it. It's just a little pest.
Yeah,
not going to do. Not going to do.
But when they're together, it's like it's essentially like the raptors when they're together. Yeah, the raptors are deadly alone, but when they're together, they're a pack. They're basically wolves. The same with this, except they're so small that they're like literally like getting swarmed by a swarm of rats, which is kind of more terrifying than wolves because. Yeah. I mean, you get loads on you.
And the whole point of a wolf is that, like, they're on their own they can be quite powerful. In the pack, they're dangerous. but it's kind of easy to escape them in a way. Like you can at least hide.
But it's rats, you can't really. It's like
like the rats, they can get through under holes and stuff. They can get through spaces, whereas a wolf is going to be blocked by a door or something.
Exactly. And I do like with this, there's a lot of close-up shots. Like the CGI on the compies actually looks pretty decent, and then the practical compies they use, which for the close-up shots look really good. I mean, there's that whole close-up shot where he's biting his lip and he's trying to get it off his lip. He's ripping his lip off. He's pecking it in. Like
all on him.
Yeah, it's like that is really fucking good. I mean, that could have just been all CGI. Literally, they could have just done that digitally, but they didn't. They went with the practical. Nowadays, 100% that would have been CG. But then they went for the practical side of it, because the practical side of Jurassic Park is always the best side of Jurassic Park, because the dinosaurs look so good. The baby T-Rex looks amazing. The baby Stegosaurus looks amazing. The adult Stegosaurus, when they showed obviously practical one of them.
The baby Triceratops as well.
You see an adult one as well, which looks really good. Obviously, they used 2 T-Rexes this time, which is so fucking cool. Like, I just think in general, this movie, I said to you, it improves the CGI from the first. The first one, for its time, looked really good. It was like groundbreaking, which is why Spielberg used a lot more. But nowadays, it just looks kind of CGI. But this actually looks a lot better. Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 shots when you're like, But overall, it's a vast improvement. Compies, for example, the T-Rexes, the Raptors, and a few of the other ones, the Stegosaurus. I think the only real one where you can notice like some of the CGI, because there's loads of it, is the hunting scene when they're obviously driving, trying to capture all the dinosaurs. That's probably the only time you can really notice some CGI, especially I think it's like a Brachiosaur or something like that. You can see you can tell it's a bit.
There's so many on screen.
Yeah, there's so much on screen that they've had to put so much. I can see that's the same issue with the Gallimimus in the first one. There's that many of them that if there was one, it might not look too bad because there's loads of them. That's why it looks a bit Especially with the fact they put a lot more effort onto the T-Rex in that scene. Whereas this, I feel like a lot more effort is gone for the Pachycephalosaurus. That one's got a lot of effort in there. Because, I mean, that is full CG. And then they do a really cool transition when it's caught. Like, it goes into a quick close-up and it's practical. Which I love with this is the fact that there's a lot of these really good transitions from CG to practical to CG. The raptor scene at the end when it's on the roof, it's clearly a practical raptor on the roof falling off, but as it hits the ground, it transitions into CG next to the already CG raptor, and you can't really tell because obviously the lighting helps heavily. The lighting always helps with your digital effects, but it's such a really good transition. It's so smooth. It's so fucking good. I mean, the transitions in general in this are so good. I mean, that transition at the start with the mom screaming at the fact her daughter's just been killed by obviously compies. It just cuts to Jeff Goldblum yawning. Like, that is such a good transition. Like, she's got the backdrop of this tropical island, and it cuts to the transition of him with a tropical island backdrop yawning. That's such a really. It's not just a good transition. It's a funny transition. It basically, you just had this traumatizing moment. It's good to like try and get your audience a bit more lighter, happier, because it's like the start of the fucking movie. Like you've just witnessed a kid dying.
It's Jeff Goldblum.
Exactly. It's like such a smooth transition and such a fucking funny transition, which is so good. And one other thing I do like about this, obviously, you do have all these new characters, which are kind of a bit but they do bring back a couple of old characters. You see John Hammond at the start and at the end.
Kids.
You see the kids all grown up now, which is quite cool. So I do like the fact that they haven't just gone, okay, we're just bringing Jeff back. No, we're bringing back them, which is pretty cool. I mean, they brought back Steven Spielberg for this one. So, I mean, they could have got any director to this. Spielberg could have gone to anything, but he stayed to do the sequel at least. He didn't do the third one, which is upsetting. I feel like it might have improved that one more in terms of people's eyes. But he did this one, which does make this not a bad sequel. And again, I don't think any of the Jurassic Park movies are bad sequels in general. It's one of the franchises where I think each movie has its moments.
Each one's got their own flaws, but most of it it's still good to watch.
I still think they're all pretty entertaining in their own rights. Even if there's stuff I don't like I said to you, this is probably my least favourite of the Jurassic Park movies. But I still found it really entertaining rewatching it just with you. I still loved every moment of it, but I still think, well, I could change my mind. It could be a thing where I watch the next one again and go, okay, no, I do actually prefer this a bit more now after rewatching it. But at the moment, know my knowledge of what I've seen already in my life. This is my least favourite, my weakest of the Jurassic World, or just Jurassic. It's easier to acknowledge. Universe, which is upsetting because it's pure Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I just think it's just I feel like if he was Jeff Goldblum, like he wasn't the first one, I feel like I would have loved it even more. But because he's just been like a more dad Jeff Goldblum, it's just kind of takes it away a little bit. Like he's a bit the traumatized side of him. Because I mean, I said to you, obviously with Alan, the next one, like he doesn't want to go to the island. He doesn't mind flying over it to look, but he doesn't want to go to the island. Whereas he's instantly like, I'm going to the island.
My girlfriend's there.
My girlfriend's there. I gotta go save her. So it's like a different side of that. Like, yeah, he's traumatized, but he's still going there. Whereas Alan's traumatized, he does not want to go there. So there's that kind of shows the difference between their characters. And again, that does show it. It's kind of a little callback to Jeff Goldblum in the first one when he pulls a flare. Like it's already like it's okay. It's already like been drawn away the T-Rex, but he pulls a flare anyway and makes it follow him because he's trying to save the kids because he's got kids of his own and.
He mentions he's got like 3 kids.
I think he says in the first one he's got like 3 kids.
2 different wives.
Yeah, but obviously we only see the one kid in this, the one who has the Raptors kryptonite, the gymnastics. I mean, of all things to have like to defeat a Raptors gymnastics, it's quite funny. I mean, you got like an army of guys with like rifles, shotguns. Oh no, they're instantly taken all out. What takes a Raptor down? Gymnastics. I mean, that whole like. I feel like every sequence involving like the more terrifying side of the dinosaurs is so good. I mean, you got the early on with the obviously T-Rex when it kills obviously their friend. Like that sequence alone, like
they're
it's
both killing him,
it's
the kill.
The build up to it, the fact that they go after the baby, they get the baby and they're still standing them over the cliff, hanging for their lives. And they fuck off. He comes to save them. And they come back anyway. And even the CG when they're there looks so good. And it transitions when it's attacking the car into practical heads when they're smashing through the roof. And then they pick him up, throw him in the air and rip him apart. It's just, oh my God, that's so fucking good to watch. I mean, it's not good to be a part of that, being ripped apart by a T-Rex. But, I mean, it's so good to watch as a cinema goer. You want to see some, like, really cool moments. I mean, the biggest moment in the first one was the toilet scene. This tops the toilet scene for me.
Definitely.
Because A, the CGI is better. B, it's more terrifying. Because, I mean, toilet guy, he's a coward. He hid in the toilet. He left the kids in the car, hid in the toilet. This guy, he's come back to save people's lives and he's paid the price to it. He's died, which is a shame. But that whole sequence is so well built. Even the music is so well done. The build up to it with the boom, boom, and you see him come through the trees and then he's looking, he's like, fuck, and they're looking into the car to see him, and it's just like, whoa, that's so good. And you're like, okay, how are they gonna top that? And obviously they do the compy scene, which is like really like so drawn out, and you're like, okay, how are they gonna top this so far? And then the T-Rex attack on the camp.
Oh my God, because the whole slow like human realization, there's the slow...
The puddle moving, and he's like, oh shit, and it goes out, because it's obviously going after the blood on, obviously Sarah's jacket, which is... I mean, you got rid of that earlier on. Why'd you carry wearing a jacket? Wearing a jacket that was covered in blood. You'd get rid of it straight away, and it goes after that, and it's scary. And obviously, she's in there with the daughter, and they're trying to like hide. And that one guy wakes up. The guy's listening to fucking the Coco soundtrack. He wakes up and he starts screaming. Everyone wakes up. Then there's like a whole army of people like running for their life. It's funny because it's just like an army of men just shitting themselves.
Yeah,
like. It's not like the end sequence where it's like loads of different, like obviously both genders like running for their life. It's just like an army of men, hunters who have gone there to hunt dinosaurs, just crapping themselves face to face with a T-Rex. Well, I mean, you would really. I mean, you're gonna shit yourself in front of a T-Rex. A fucking T-Rex. It's just how it's an arm. You see him on the skull. You're like, yeah, fuck this. Get out of here, lads. Get out of here.
I just love that whole scene. You see the female T-Rex, the one that's chasing.
Yeah, and the male's just like
after you see the male
crackers.
In the background, like, oh, I'm gonna eat what's on the floor here.
The male's just after the crackers that the little kid had. He just wants those animal crackers. He just wants them. He's looking for a giraffe. He just wants a giraffe animal cracker. But I do love that. Obviously, you still got Jeff Goldblum still sort of stood there while everything's going on. He's there trying to get away and everything. And he sort of managed to hide while everyone's like running for their lives. The female T-Rex is chasing after everyone. There's the guy who screams, goes down first. He gets stomped. That stomp when obviously he falls in the water and everyone's trampling him. And you're like, shit, he's done for now. And the T-Rex stomps him into the water. picks him up, and he's dangling from the foot. That's so menacing, especially when he goes back down again, and he's still on the foot, and then he just finally comes off, and it's like, that is one way to die. Just getting stomped on by a T-Rex and dragged around. Essentially like stamping on shit and dragging it through your house and being like, fuck, I got shit on my foot. And flicking it off your foot. It's the equivalent of that, but a bloke and a T-Rex foot. And then you got the whole waterfall when they're hiding the waterfall. And the fucking, it gets out, obviously the hairy biker, as you like to say. The fucking snake goes down his shirt and it eats him. And it's the fact that you don't see it fully eat him, you see the blood trickle down the waterfall, and that is just...
It's still PG.
It's still PG. You're allowed to use a little bit of blood here and there, but it's just the trickle of the blood down the waterfall makes you, ooh. And then it's the moment when Vince Vaughn's like, it's coming back. You're like, oh no. And it's just Jeff Goldblum running in. He's like, hey guys, let's get out of here. And you're like, okay, how's it going to top that sequence? Cuts to the long grass. You see him running through the long grass. You got obviously the hunter's mate going, don't go into the long grass! And yet he goes into the long grass himself. And then you finally get to the raptors. Because, I mean, they've been teased already. There's the mention of, we need to go to this location to call for reinforcements. Because our radio's broke because you broke it when you released all the dinosaurs earlier on. So we need to go to this so you can basically call for help. Problem is, there's raptors here. We're going to have to be careful. That's instantly gone out the window when the T-Rex attacks. They're all running through the long grass. You see the raptors' tails and their heads poke out the grass. Then it zooms out. You see them running in the grass. You see the lines in the grass. And then, boom, one by one, taking them out. And then you get to the new raptor designs, the stripes, the new colouring. They look so good. You get some finally hunts the pack. And then it obviously goes after Jeff Goldblum and that. Obviously, Vince Vaughn's gone for help. T-Rex has been taken down, the male one by obviously the hunter, and then you see the raptors going after, trying to like take Jeff Goldblum out. Like he goes into the store, shuts the door, raptor through the window, goes out of the store, uses a door to block him, goes into the car. Raptor's like peeking its head through the glass, trying to get through. You also then got obviously the two women trying to dig their way out. The raptors trying to dig in. They notice they're digging in. They try and get in the other way. Gymnastics comes into play when Jeff Goldblum finally gets into the fucking building. It's how she smashed it. It's practical. You see the practical raptor go out the window and a practical dead raptor with spikes through it.
So good.
That is just really well fucking done. And then once it's dead, obviously they manage to get out. Vince Vaughn saves them. They're getting the helicopter fly away. And you're like, okay, how is this going to be topped even more? You see the T-Rex caught, and it's like, oh yeah, we're taking it back to San Diego. And you see it all got cut to like probably like a few weeks later. It's like it's a journey, but from Costa Rica, it's gonna be like gonna be a while. And it's like fucking Jeff Goldblum and obviously Julianne Moore all dressed up nicely, trying to get into this like, exhibit. Cops won't let them in, and then the business guy's like, let them in, let them see this. Boat smashes, T-Rex gets loose. And it's just fucking menacing as fuck. Yeah, because obviously when it's escaped, the T-Rex, because obviously it just wants its baby, which they've kidnapped. And it's the first shot you get with it, obviously, because at this point now you're like, oh shit, it's actually off an island within real life. And it's like, well, we've never seen this before. We've only seen it confined in an island. Or islands. And then it takes it to an actual city. And it's the first bit with the kid, and it's like you see that it breaks into his back garden. His water's rumbling in his fish tank. Dog's having a bark. Parents come in because he's woke them up, and then they're arguing like, "Oh, it's your fault because you fed him too late." No, it's your fault because this fish tank, the light's waking him up, and they're having this argument. And then you just see the T-Rex head rise, dog chaining its mouth because it ate the dog. The dog house hanging from its mouth, and then it's the fact that they're both just instantly like. It's just like a calm scene at first. It's like really scared, and the kid takes a picture, causes it to roar, and it's just like scream as loud as we can now at this. And then obviously it cuts back to Jeff Goldblum, doesn't it? Then, and then we get the fucking chase for the city. Blockbuster video store with the fake movies. They got the fake Castaway, like Tom Hanks in like some Storm movie, which is basically the poster for Castaway. Some William Shakespeare movie starring fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like so many fucking like fake movies. I don't get that. They could have literally, it's Universal, they had so many films, they could have they've made fake movie boards. Why didn't they choose real movies?
They can do that.
Like their own movies, like E.T. was out at that point, why didn't they fucking throw an E.T. poster up? They could have thrown anything.
It's like how in Spider-Man they use like Star Wars Lego and stuff like that, because obviously Star Wars is owned by Disney.
It's literally could have used anything. Obviously, it's quite funny to try and spot these fake posters and go, okay, that's meant to be this. This meant to be that. So it's quite funny. And I did like the chase we get through the city. You got T-Rex like slamming into a bus. Like everyone's hanging out the bus on the side. It's just chasing after everyone's cars are flying. You got one guy trying to get into Blockbuster to get his trying to send his rental back before he gets charged. Gets dragged off completely and eaten off screen. You hear that horrible sound when he's gargled in blood, and it's like, ooh, goes straight for your ears, and it's like nasty as fuck. And it's just the slow build. Obviously, when they finally get the baby and have to draw it away back to the boat to try and lure it back onto the boat, but obviously you got the fuck up with the guy on the boat trying to get after the baby and the T-Rex creeping in,
background, just like
tiptoeing.
Oh shit!
And finally killing that terrible villain off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you wouldn't really call him, but he's a businessman. He's not really
antagonist.
He's antagonist. Yeah, he's not really like your Thanos or something. He's just someone who's just an arsehole
to the main guys and the dinosaurs themselves.
Yeah, and obviously they have to trap him on, shoot him with darts, and basically save the day. And I do like the fact that when they two take them back, they've got like an arsenal of fucking battleships following it. Like, if anything goes wrong, we're gonna blow this motherfucker out the ocean. I do like that aspect of it. I do like you get to see the footage of them taking them away and back onto the island where you get to see more dinosaurs. Some we haven't even seen yet.
Like all the pterosaurs.
Yeah, and we get the last shot of obviously the two T-Rexes with the baby, and you get the pterosaur like squawking.
Yeah, pterodon flies down.
And it squawks to end the movie. I do like that. It's like each scene tries to one-up itself in this movie, which is so fucking good. It's still, again, it's still at the moment my least favourite of the JP movies, but I don't see anything bad. It's
still good.
It's still like a popcorn flick. It's still entertaining to watch. There's still a lot of really cool things to this, thanks to these chase scenes, essentially, which are pretty cool to watch. And it's just really cool to see Jeff Goldblum get the main star this time.
Oh yeah.
Because
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, even if he's not the same as he was in part one, it's
still Jeff Goldblum.
It's still Jeff Goldblum on screen. Like, I mean, there's that one scene I laughed at with you when he's on that fucking like lift in the air. And he's dangling. He's like, "Oh, I need to go back down there." Ropes himself up, and when you hear him go down, it sounds like he's literally like falling through every single tree branch on the way down. You're just expecting to hear the scream of "Ow, my fucking leg!" on the way down, but you don't, which is quite funny. It's just so good. I obviously I like the hunting plot. I like obviously that there's two sides to this argument. There's the side that are there just to rescue people, but that person's there just to monitor dinosaurs.
Like the two sides of man.
And then you got the side that's there just to capture them and take them back so they can have a zoo in the city. It's funny, you've seen that the zoo fails on an island where there's no one there. Oh yes, bring it to a city full of people. Let's make a zoo in the city full of dinosaurs, which have already been proven to murder people. Not just in a park, in an open space in general. Like, it's been proved twice now that it's not safe to be around these dinosaurs, and yet they want to make a zoo out of it. And it's like...
And of course, they never learn, because obviously Jurassic World exists.
Exactly. It just continues. It's like, how the fuck have you not learned by now that... Yeah, okay, you can say the excuse for Jurassic World is the fact that it's more modern. They've got the technology to try and keep them at bay. Well, yeah, but you've just made fucking genetically engineered dinosaurs, so you need to plan for that aspect. Like, you basically, your stuff is there for normal dinosaurs, stuff that can't really fight back, and yet...
You get one that can camouflage itself, is intelligent, and is like pretty much all the OP dinosaurs in one. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
We'll get to that in like 2 movies' time. So it's like, how the fuck have they learned? I mean, as you say, this is like the ending of the movie, and they've already seen two things. They've already lost people on Island Sauna. Is this one and this one? No. Nebula is the first. Is the first one. Yes, so the Island Sauna. You've already seen they've lost people there, and obviously you've seen them lost. You've seen them lost people on obviously the original island. So it's like, okay, bring them back to civilization, you dumbasses. It is a shame we've yet to see the other islands.
That's true. Because
we never get to see them. I mean, we do it in the games, in the Jurassic World Evolution games. You do get to see the other islands and how they are in terms of weather and whatnot. But it's a shame that because this instantly shows the islands. Because the first one doesn't, does it? It doesn't mention it apart from one island. And this like, oh no, we have Site B, and it's like it points at a map and you see the 5 islands. which is like they refer to as like 5 Islands of Death, don't they? The locals. So it's a shame we only get to see the first 2. I think the first one we get to see more than anything.
Yeah.
The first film, 2 Jurassic Worlds, and then this one we get to see 2 films. But it is strange the fact that it's never mentioned like before this. So it's like, oh yeah, there's another island. Then at the start it's like, oh yeah, we had another island as backup. You know, it's when we make the dinosaurs and everything. But why are you breeding them on this island as well? You've literally explained that this intricate detail of, oh, we breed them on one island, transfer them to this island into the park. Yeah, but we clearly saw in the first one you were breeding the dinosaurs there as well. Yeah. So why are you doing it in both locations? Is that there just maybe for the tourists?
Like, yeah, I think
because it's on that tour, isn't it, when they spin round? So that's the only thing I can think of is that is just like the tourist attraction version. Like that's like the micro version.
That's where they do all the smaller dinosaurs that are easy to transport.
Yeah.
All the bigger ones.
I've done it elsewhere. That's the only thing I could think of realistically is how they did that. I don't think that. See, I think the soundtrack again by John Williams is really good in this. I just don't think it's as good as the first one. I think this is the idea of it's hard to top perfection, and he doesn't here. I mean, you still got the classic theme in there. You still got some other renditions of it. You still got these other music, but I just don't think it's like the film. Song. It's not the same as the first. It's good, but it's not great.
Yeah,
it's probably the best.
Like if they'd have changed the theme a little bit.
Like altered it slightly,
like every Avengers one.
There's a slight change in like an instrument, slight change to make it sound a bit different.
You've got the simple one, then you got Forge, then you've got Portals.
Yeah, it's like the slight. Yeah, it's still within that song, but there's a slight changes here and there to make it different. I find it funny that they say Portals. I kept making jokes in this when it's like the start of this movie is basically Predator 1, the end is Predator 2. Portals is made by the guy, the song wise, composed by the same guy who made the soundtrack of Predator. Oh. So that's a fun fact there for you, Hayden, for today. Wow. Fun fact of the day for you there.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you are learning.
I never learn.
Yes, you never learn, like never learn to cross the road. Mate, at times she's almost got herself killed. I'm gonna be the one then to bring you down, aren't I?
You are. You finally get your car.
You didn't learn. But yeah, it's an entertaining popcorn flick. That's a good fun sequel, but like most sequels, doesn't live up to the original. But unlike most sequels, is better than most sequels.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you think of it, 'cause, you know me, I gave Jaws a 10. I gave Jurassic Park a 10. Jaws 2 was nowhere near Jaws 1, but it was still entertaining. Whereas I think Lost World is a bit better because it still has every aspect from the first one. It has the same director, same composer. It's got, again, a lot of the same cast coming back. Yeah, they've got new cast coming in. But it's not the exact same as like Jaws 2 was to Jaws 1, where it's just like the sharks coming in.
It still feels like the same film.
It still feels like the same film, but it's not the same at the same time. Like it's the same. Yeah, you're on a new island. Got the same concept, dinosaurs on the island. But unlike, say, Jaws, when it just still following people, it's spread out. The island's open. It's like a hunting range. It's like a safari.
But
essentially,
it's a different take on.
It's a different take on. Yeah, it's exactly. It's a different take on the same concept. It's not. It's the same feel, but it's not fully the same. Because it's, as you say, the first one's a park. This is more of a safari guide, which is a lot different, but it's still the same. It's still dinosaurs at the end of the day. Whereas I say, you look at Jaws 1 and 2, yeah, the second one may be about boats and the kids been on boats, but it's still a shark hunting people on an island. So it's still basically the same film, just bigger, but not as good. Whereas this is the same film, again, on a bigger scale, just not as good, but still better than what Jaws 2 was to Jaws. If you get what I'm saying there.
Okay, yeah. It's like throughout the entire film, it's also good to see the two different sides of men. They got the obviously compassionate side and the good guys. The bad guys, it's more the bad guys. It's more like the greed.
Yeah, money and just the power over an extinct animal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly the exact word there. Power over life itself.
Wanting to play God and stuff.
Because I mean, they do use the quote of extinct animals do not have rights.
Yeah.
So we can do whatever the fuck we want. Which is, yeah, okay, kind of true, but you still shouldn't.
Legally, that's right.
Yeah,
ethically, not
yeah,
right.
Exactly, which is how they sort of look at it here. Is legally, yeah, it's correct, but ethically, no, don't. Why are you...
Lead them to it.
Exactly. I feel like we've put our point across here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're at the right point in time wise. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
I mean, we did, even though I took this a bit cut here. I feel like there's still been about 30, 40 minutes here. So let's get a rating, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Jurassic Park, I gave the Dragon's Egg the top mark, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Again, I said this earlier. I don't think there's a bad Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
I don't think they're terrible. They're still entertaining. I don't.
Each one will have something that could be called a flaw, but it doesn't impact the film.
There's still some great. There's still a lot of great aspects to it that make it a fun to watch movie, especially if you want to sit through all of them back to back. It's some films as they go along, they get as if they drop heavily, and you can get like 4 out of 10s. Like they can get really like Jaws. First one incredible. Second one, okay, it was okay. Follow up, it was above average. Then they started dropping below the 5 marks, and they went far down. Whereas I don't think this drops below a certain mark personally, this franchise, which is why I'd give The Lost World Jurassic Park a silver egg, which is an 8 out of 10. Because I think, as I said, I don't think that he's dropped below a mark. And spoiler alert, this is the mark. I don't think anything drops below that. They are really entertaining to watch. Plus, come on, it's fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah,
it's dinosaurs in a big budget. You know, you got all these fucking low budget, shitty movies. I've seen a lot of them over the years, and they're just terrible. But there's still that aspect of, there's dinosaurs in there, so that's the only like good thing. Whereas these aren't, because they're done on a really good budget with people who know what the fuck they're doing behind it. Fucking told you as well. So yeah, 8 out of 10.
Oh, I think.
So you can't give 10 Goldblums here. It's not a 10 Goldblum situation.
Yeah.
Is it? It's still a Goldblum situation.
I'll say 9, 10.
Yeah.
It would have been 10 out of 10 if Jeff Goldblum was top.
Of course you said that.
Because he wasn't.
So you're going with a gold egg. Or
Golden
Jeff.
Golden
Jeff.
A Golden Jeff.
Oh,
make that.
I've got to colour him gold now. I took forever fucking finding a good one last time. I mean, I edited it twice just to get a good fucking image. So now I've got to do it again. But now gold. Great. Okay, so there's a difference in opinion there.
Yeah.
There's only some that I can go as high as that.
I think it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, but
Jeff Goldblum.
I just don't think it's that level of great. But again, that's where different opinions come in, which is always good to have two different sides to an argument. Someone who really enjoyed it, someone who enjoyed it but not as much. So I do like that. There's not a massive divide because that's pretty close. I mean, if we did the averaging thing like we used to do, it'd be like an 8.5. So that there is showing that it's not too much out of it. I mean, we could bring back the averaging for a bit of fun.
Half and half.
We're bringing back like the old school, a lot of the old school stuff he used to.
Half an egg, half a Jeff.
Jeff in the egg.
My God,
the golden egg with Jeff popping out of it. Sorry, silver egg with Jeff. Yeah, inside is a golden Jeff. Yes, yeah. You fuck it. We'll bring back the half and half situation. So obviously, at 9 and 8, easily brings it to the Chatter Cave overall score of 8.5. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, the last few have been on the same wavelength anyway, so it's the average in there is pretty simple. But I mean, yeah, fuck it. Let's bring back the averaging. 8.5 is an overall for the show. Okay, so is it stupid to ask the MVP?
I don't think it's. I think we all know it's going to be.
Is it by any chance this beautiful, handsome devil right
Definitely,
here?
Because it's him.
Because it's Jeff Goldblum. He wins it two films in a row.
Yeah.
Has anyone won this award 2 films in a row?
Not one.
I don't think so. Even on the old Chat Cave, I don't think anyone won it twice in a row.
No. But they're not Jeff Goldblum, are they?
See, it is fun to see this other side of him, but it's just a bit of a shame that it's not the fun side that we used to see.
Plus, now we can call him a Dolph.
There is that, yes. I think runner-up should give to the Hunter.
Definitely.
Because as we said, there's the two sides to him. You said the emotion side of him. You said the side that just wants the power over another life, another species. But then you said the emotional side that cares for
and respects human life.
Yeah, who cares for Sarah when he thinks she's injured.
He says to Ian, "I'm sorry about your man."
Exactly. I'm sorry about your man. Yeah. Because at first he makes a comment and he's a bit of an arsehole comment, and he's like, "Well, he's just sacrificed his life." And he's like, "I'm sorry about him." Like, there is that. So, yeah, I feel like the Hunter... I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Bald guy.
The bald guy who was also in the Omen remake, who was a priest who got speared by a fucking cross, I think, in that, or the chapel fucking spike, which is brutal as fuck.
As a kid, I always thought he had loads of hair, and then the moment he took his hat off, he was bald. Like, what the fuck? I was so confused. The first shot made him look like he had loads of long hair.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Maybe he had like a net. I think he did have like a netting thing on his.
It might have been that.
So it might have been
That's
that.
what I thought. It was hair.
Okay then. So favorite moment.
Ooh. I'd say the corn, like the fields, the
long grass.
Yeah, long grass scene. One raptors, they're great, but it's
cool to see them
terrifying
hunting
as well.
Oh, this is fucking tricky. This one is. In the last one, I instantly was like, "Yeah, I'm going clever girl." This is so tricky because I love the T-Rex chasing in the city.
Yeah.
I love the raptor sequence.
Or the scene when like it actually appears in Seattle. That was a good one.
Oh, fuck me. This is tricky. You know what? I'm going to give it to the two T-Rexes that rip the guy apart.
Yeah.
I love the shot in the dark with the rain, the lighting of it as they come through the trees, the fear on the guy's face, the CGI looking fucking perfect, and then them turning into actual physical animatronics as they're breaking in to the car and they rip him apart. And I like that moment for the fact that obviously he's just give his life so they can live. Like, he didn't mean to. It was an accident, essentially, but...
It was by accident, but...
He's still a hero, in my book. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the T-Rex. The T-Rex sharing a meal. So I'm going to dub it.
The lady in the tramp scene.
The lady in the tramp scene, yes. It's just the lady in the tramp scene, just with a man instead of spaghetti. I like to think there's a chef nearby going, "Hey! My human being! What about my meatballs?" I like to think there's that what guy is next to him. And there's like the cops just waiting, going, "Any minute now, I'm going to take him hostage. I'm going to take him back to the pound."
He's just a raptor with a chef hat on.
Yes, it's a raptor with a chef. Yes, perfect. Fucking perfect. So that's that. Leave your comments about the Lost World Jurassic Park in the comments below. Like your thoughts, how you think it compares to the original. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. Your favourite moments.
Your favourite dinosaur.
Your favourite dinosaur? Yes, we're going to say that every time. We want to know your favourite dinosaur. What's your favourite dinosaur, Hayden?
3, 2, 1.
Velociraptor!
Are we now best friends?
I was going to do a joke there when I did said something fake. I just did something stupid, but I changed my mind. Mine's the Carnotaurus. Mainly because of Dinosaur King.
Same reason. Paris Parallelepus. I've always liked Paris.
So which one's your favourite dinosaur? The Velociraptor or the Parasaurolophus?
Oh, genuinely, it's Parasaurolophus, but I do like the Utah Raptor because anal about it because the Velociraptor's actually fucking tiny, like little Labradors. But the Utah Raptor, which is like the genuinely the same size what these ones are.
So you've gone for more of a herbivore. But you do like the carnivore.
I did like carnivore.
But I love my Carnotaurus because of Dinosaur King and because of the film Dinosaur, where they're the actual antagonists. Love Carnotaurus. Love them. And that's why I love the fact they're in Fallen Kingdom. Oh, hopefully there's fucking Dominion as well. I think they are. Anyway, so your favourite dinosaur, tell us that. As usual, there's going to be a Connor next week, and then the week after we will be back for Jurassic Park 3, the end of the Jurassic Park trilogy. But obviously it's not the end of the Jurassic franchise because we do still have the Jurassic World franchise to start covering after that. So yeah, in 2 weeks we'll do Jurassic Park 3. So until then, if you want to see more Hayden, you can check out the Hayden Show, which should be coming to an end at this point now. And then it'll be next month, which is obviously the start of June, we start Series 3. I don't think it's at the very start of June. It's like a week into June, or the second Sunday in June. I think it's the idea I'm going for, just so we can, just in case we don't get these done in time, since we'd have to do 2 at a time. So now, obviously, Jurassic Park 3 is an easy one for the fact that it's only an hour and a half to watch, whereas the next 2 are like 2-hour movies. That's like 4 hours there, plus 2 hours in terms of recording. So 6 hours there. We're gonna have to spend on a day doing that. So yeah. We'll see with the Hayden Show Series 3 if that time-wise. It might be even a longer wait, but it shouldn't be. It should be June. So you can check that Series 2 out and Series 1. Again, Christmas specials. Bit weird to watch now. Don't be my mum and watch Christmas movies in October. Watch them in Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will see you next time.
Yeah. Say bye bye, baby T-Rex.
Is that the same, right? More or less.
Same.
Sounds like a dog getting. I don't know what the dog happens to this dog.
Oh, Craig.
You're getting boned by Craig.
Getting back in the slammer.
Tap dance your way out of this, you bastards.